Hey guys, Amelie May with Yahoo Esports. I am here with Biofrost from TSM, fresh out of their game against CLG. It was close. It was down to the wire. No one knew who was going to take it until the very end. So how do you feel coming out of those games?
Still a little bit shaky because at the very last moment, I thought we lost because we got caught out in mid, and then I'm pretty sure they could have ended if they played it right, and it was just super nerve wracking because I was like, oh no, we worked so hard, we got this is the reverse sweep, and now we're about to lose anyway. So yeah, intense.
What was going through the comms, like especially during that last fight?
In that very last fight, it was like, oh, can we win this? Can we not? It's like everyone's panicking because we got one shot, and then we're like, maybe we can still win this. It's like, no, 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 full retreat. And then after we lost, it was just me and Svensker, and then we're like, okay, we have to pull this wave, otherwise, it's just over. Because if they get this wave onto the tower, they can end the game. And luckily, they didn't. So we actually ended up winning.
So in those times of chaos where, everything's just going on, how do you guys kind of like calm down and focus to advance?
Well, pretty much in like all the team fights that we won, we didn't win them like super decisively. So usually there's like a couple decisions that you can make. Like there was a time where we thought we could end the game, but then the death timers were like too long, and then we had to go to Baron afterwards. And yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth. And in like a series as long as this one, because it went to a 3 game and the game was pretty long itself, you just have to make sure that sometimes it's better to take the safer decision other than one that can maybe lead you to win the game right away. Because I think we could have went for the base towards the end, but we didn't. We just went for Baron instead. So keeping calm.
That's good. I like the smarter moves, even though it means a longer game,
Yeah.
but it means safer for you. I have to ask you about all of these interesting support picks that have shown up this weekend. I mean, we've seen Blitzcrank come back. He was here a little bit last week, and now we have Sejuani. So how do you feel about all of these support picks?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's a lot better to see a lot of different types of support picks in comparison to last split, where it was pretty much Karma, Lulu, Zara, and not much of anything else. I think in LCK you've seen like the Blitzcrank. Now it's also in North America. We played against it twice. And Sejuani, I never knew that was a thing, but I guess it is. It seems pretty cool, and just like the diversity of the picks lets you have a lot of power in draft phase because you don't really know what the enemy team is going to pick, what support, what counters they have maybe up their sleeve, because the meta is like shifting towards a lot of playmaking supports. Maybe it's because of Doran Shield where it's like harder to abuse lane, so people play a lot more playmaking supports where they can roam around the map and influence other lanes. So it's cool to see.
So I want to ask what your thoughts are on Afromu's Blitzcrank, because he came in and he just kind of owned it.
Yeah, Blitzcrank was pretty good. Personally, I hate playing against Blitzcrank. I think it's a champion that really dominates solo queue, especially because if you're not on the hook, you're probably going to get that person summoner or maybe even their life. And he applies a lot of pressure in certain matchups, especially matchups where you can't really abuse them too hard in lane because you might just get hooked and then you're gone. And it's pretty scary, especially on stage, because you're very scared of getting hooked. It's very similar to Thresh, except there's less of a time to react to certain things.
So you won the games, but like we said, it was close. What is TSM going to do maybe this week to try to widen that gap between you guys and other teams?
I think we've been trying a lot of different team comps, like in terms of picks. These picks aren't necessarily like our forte because we're like working on different team comps where we try certain things and we're like seeing if it works or not. Of course, there's like always the comfort picks where we show today in our game 2 where we kind of fall back on what we're more used to, and I mean it showed. Otherwise, in game 1 where we were playing like a pressure comp, it was definitely a lot different, and it's just being able to play multiple comps at a very high level would be very essential, at least for us moving forward, because if you can play a variety of different comps, then people won't really know what to expect, and it's harder to play around.
I love it. Well, I'm continuing Travis's question from last week. He's been asking players how they feel about the Players Association and if they have anything that they'd like to see implemented with it.
Players Association, definitely a good move by Riot. Of course, I can't really fully say that yet because of course, I'm looking forward to it, but nothing has really been set in stone yet. And with the representatives, we still haven't like decided on one yet. And I think it'll be interesting to see what gets put forward. Of course, there's like a lot of small things like, oh, maybe we can have like lower ping for like pro players in Los Angeles, and then that's like a big thing. And then other stuff like what can pros get after they retire. You know, there's not a lot of like clear things you can do as a pro after you retire. Of course, there's some people who go into broadcasting or they get like a job at Riot, but it's not like this is what's offered to you on the table. And having like a clear variety of selections in which you can be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do after I retire as a pro, instead of just going back to school. Like, there's a lot of other options out there, and I think that's going to be really important, because if there's that in place and there's a lot more job security, and I think the Players Association can bring that, it will help other people think that playing as a pro player will be legitimate and can be like a solid career path. Otherwise, like, I think nowadays people don't really think of it too much as a really solid career path, and I think the Players Association will help that.
Well, do you have anything that you'd like to say to your TSM fans out there?
Thank you for supporting us. I know I say that a lot, but of course, I think these past 2 weeks actually have been kind of hard, because we only went 2-2, and TSM fans, I guess, are very critical of that, and I think that's right. And hopefully we perform better in the upcoming weeks and improve.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. It's always a pleasure talking with you. And for everyone else, you can check out more of our coverage at Yahoo Esports.